Okay, so before all of you guys start running in the comments wondering, Riley, what happened to your face? No, I did not get into a fight. It was just a wrestling accident. I slammed my nose into someone's head, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. So now that we got that over with, I want to talk about the title of the video, which is starting now. Okay, no one's coming to save you. Okay, if you're in a bad position, let's say you're complaining, you're like, oh, I'm in a bad position. My girlfriend broke up with me. I don't understand people. I know it sucks. It may not be great, and that is the truth. There is going to be times as a man where bad things are going to happen, but that's the truth. That's how life is. Bad things are going to happen. So what you have to do is you have to pick yourself up and go to the gym and put in the effort and put in the discipline while that happens. Even if you're emotionally not in a good position, you still have to do those things to improve as a man. Otherwise, you're just going to sit in the same position. If you sit around and cry all day, you're not going to get anywhere. That is the truth. I mean, it's a very simple concept. Sitting around and crying all day isn't going to get you an amazing physique. Okay, sitting around and crying all day isn't going to get me subscribers, right? Sitting around and crying all day isn't going to get you a lot of money. Sitting around and crying all day isn't going to get you to achieve your goals or your best relationship or whatever it may be. So here's what you have to do. You have to as quickly as possible get out of that emotional vibration. You have to stop thinking that way and start thinking of, what do I want? What do I want to achieve? What position do I want to be in right now? And while you're doing that, put in the effort towards getting to that position. That is the shift. That is the main thing you have to do to start achieving your goals. If you do that, I promise you will start achieving amazing things in your life. Because if you think about what you want while you're working towards what you want, it will make the work much easier because you'll know what you're working towards even while you're working towards it, which at first might be difficult, but once you've got it down, it'll really help you and it'll make things much easier. It won't make it fully easy. It's still hard, but that's the point as a man. It's supposed to be hard. There's supposed to be difficult challenges. Nothing would be interesting without the difficult challenges. I like taking risks. I like hard things. I like difficult things. Those interest me because at least there's something interesting happening. I don't want everything to be easy. If everything's easy, it's just boring. You're just sitting around like, oh, okay, it's just another Monday day. Everything's gonna be easy. Everything's gonna be, the same. I don't like to live that way. I don't like to live like average people who just have everything easy. They eat junk food. They do whatever they want. They watch Hulu, whatever it may be. I don't like to live that way because they don't end up achieving anything. That's just simply the truth, right? So, I'm not complaining right now. I, bashed my nose into that guy's head yesterday and there's blood all over my hands. And 5 minutes later, I was back in the wrestling room. I was back in the wrestling room working out. Okay, I didn't break my nose, so I'm fine, right? It's not a matter of I could have made an excuse in my head and be like, oh, I'm injured, so I shouldn't work out. How is the nose injury going to affect my muscles? It's not going to affect my muscles. These are the type of excuses, the stupid excuses that people make on a daily basis. This guy came up to me. I have a weightlifting class that I go to at school that I just got into for this semester, and this kid came up to me because they're making us actually do calisthenics, not weights, for this part of the workout, just for ab exercise. And I was holding myself sideways, and this kid comes up to me. He's like, dude, how long did it take you to get to do calisthenics or whatever? He didn't mean push-ups and stuff. He meant like holding myself sideways or like one-arm push-ups, right? So, and I told him it took me a year. It was like, oh my gosh, a whole entire year? That's ridiculous. He said something like that. Okay, and that is the exact reason why he can't hold himself sideways and I can. That is the reason why he can't do a one-arm push-up and I can. Why? Because he's not willing to put in the effort, the time, and the steps behind being able to do that and the discipline. He's not willing to. That's why he's telling me, he's like, oh my gosh, that's hard, that's so difficult. It took you that long, really? And I tried to comfort him, but like, you can't really help those people because those are the people who just are unfortunately helpless. They aren't, it's not like I have anything against the guy. It's just that I know he's not willing to put in the steps and the effort behind doing that. So, I don't know why he's coming up to me and asking me that just to, get that answer, because that's always going to be the answer. There's no easy way to go. There's always going to be something hard you have to do as a man. So anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I thank you guys so much for the support, not just on the shorts, but also on the main videos. I've been averaging out like 70 views, so I really thank you guys so much for that. Other than that, that's about it. Thanks for watching.